Hi, hello, and welcome back to Restring Sunday. It's the series where I take a guitar, restring it, talk a little bit about it, and play it. And today I've got a guitar that I think is very cool. This is a Jackson DK2S. And the S, or what the S stands for, is what my favorite bit about this guitar is. It's the Sustainiac pickup. Now the guitar itself is, I believe, 2008, but I could be wrong on this. The serial number is confusing, but it's made in Japan. It's a Japanese-made Jackson Dinky. Apparently these didn't sell particularly well at the time, which is surprising because they are very good guitars, and it's kind of funny to see that Jackson have reissued a Japanese-made line of guitars that are significantly more expensive than these ever were, or what you can get them at now. You can actually get these at very good prices on the second-hand market. So let's restring. Now this is a Jackson Dinky, and it's a Super Strat. Now the difference between a Dinky and a Jackson Soloist, while they look very similar, is the Dinky is about 10% smaller in body shape, and it's a bolt-on as opposed to a neck-through. And it's also probably worth mentioning that I have modified this guitar. This was one of my earliest videos actually modifying this guitar, because the original, it didn't really stay in tune. The Floyd Rose that it came with, it was a licensed Jackson Floyd, and it was the bane of my existence. I just didn't use it, and it was a real shame because the guitar itself is very good, and it has a feature that not many other guitars, at least at the time, and even now, have. The mods on the guitar really consisted of me replacing the trem, and I replaced it with the 35th anniversary Floyd Rose trem, but it didn't really matter. It was just an official Floyd Rose trem. It's got the nice red accents though on the thumb screws, and I thought that that matched well with the actual body. Now we've talked about made in Japan guitars before on the channel, a lot of Restring Sundays actually, and it's not that they're better because they're made in a place. That's kind of a silly idea, but these did tend to be very good quality, and this one is no different, bar the original bridge, which didn't really do its one job. But other than that, very good guitar. Maple neck, rosewood fretboard, alder body, I think. Nothing's out of the ordinary, nothing's unusual. It's a standard Jackson Dinky for all intents and purposes. The pickups are genuine Seymour Duncans, not Duncan designed. And the bridge pickup, I don't know what model it is, but it's really, really hot. But that's all standard. The bridge it came with before was just your standard run-of-the-mill licensed trem. The bridge now is a upgraded Floyd. There's nothing really to write home about, just a nice standard good Super Strat. However, the bit that makes this guitar, the DK2S, is the Sustainiac pickup in the neck position. This guitar, as long as it's got a 9-volt battery in the back, will sustain a note for however long you want it to sustain. You could even play an open string, leave the guitar, just walk away, it'll keep going. For those who have used an E-bow before, it's kind of like that.
That was so cool.
But a little bit more convenient because you don't have to hold a thing in your hand while doing it, it just works. So it's got a couple of different options that you can use for the sustain. It's got these two mini toggles. One is just on or off, and then it's got a mini toggle with 3 different selections. Down is just the note that you're playing sustained. Up is personally my favorite position. This is the feedbacking position, so it takes the note, feedbacks and sustains it. And then the middle position is a mix between both. And you've also got an intensity control beside your volume and tone, which as the name would describe is just the intensity of the sustain. Now before I go into the actual really interesting... Okay. Now before I mention how the Sustainiac works, which is actually a really interesting part about this design, I would like to mention that this is kind of like the Phil Collins signature guitar. It's like the unofficial signature budget version from Jackson, because he has a signature guitar, but they are all the higher end versions, and there's not too many guitars out there with Sustainiac pickups. Currently, for the last few years, you've had Schecter really being the only main brand who has them, but now I think a few months ago Solar has started releasing guitars with them, and other than that I can't think of too many. Now there is the Fernandez Sustainer, which kind of works the same way but isn't the Sustainiac, which is an American made product, and they mainly just came on Fernandez guitars, which currently now, as far as their website says anyway, they're gone out of America, so you're really only going to find them on the Japanese Fernandez, so it's not really going to be a thing that you're going to commonly see. There's other famous users of a Sustainiac. Sinister Gates from Avenged Sevenfold, for example, or Steve Vai tends to modify his Gems, or now Pias, with a Sustainiac humbucker in the neck. Though those guitars don't come stock with that, his personal ones are modded to have that feature. So they're not insanely popular, but it surprises me because it's really fun. It is guitar playing on fun mode, because every note just squeals if you wanted to. So how does it work and what's the drawback? Well, if you don't like having a battery in your guitar, that's a drawback, but it's minor. It's a 9-volt, it lasts for a fairly long time. And one of the funny features that you have with this guitar is if you plug it in, you don't have to have like it plugged into an amp. It can just be a cable going off to nowhere, and you can turn the sustainer on and it'll work. You can sustain acoustically. It's kind of funny. Now we're going to be chucking D'Addario 10s on this. We're going to be tuning it to D standard like most of my guitars, and the player circle codes that are on the screen right now, those have been donated by generous viewers giving away their player circles codes. So someone, please take them and enjoy. Now how the Sustainiac pickup actually works is kind of interesting. It has to be a certain distance away from the bridge pickup because it's linked to the bridge pickup. If you turn the sustainer on, let's say you're on the middle pickup, a single coil in this case. If you turn the sustainer on, you'll immediately go back to the bridge pickup. Even if the selector switch is on the middle pickup, you will be on the bridge pickup. The Sustainiac is linked to the bridge pickup, and it has to be a certain distance away, otherwise you're just going to have feedback. So you can't have more than 24 frets, for example. You can't really put a sustainer in there. Or if you've got a guitar that only has a humbucker, well then you're going to have to route and rewire it because it has to be in the neck. You can't replace a bridge humbucker with just a solid Sustainiac pickup. It has to go in conjunction with another pickup. How it works though is genuinely very cool. If you play a note, it'll be picked up by the bridge pickup as normal, but the preamp and circuitry inside of the Sustainiac will take that signal, re-amplify it through the Sustainiac pickup, and it will vibrate the string with its own vibrations that it's being picked up by the pickup. It's just kind of like a circle of vibration. Very cool. And it has its positives and negatives. For example, if you want to retrofit a Sustainiac to your guitar, there is, a circuit board, and there's a bit more delicate wiring than just putting a standard pickup in, for example. Now, I don't think even Jackson make any guitars that have sustainers on them stock. This guitar was made in the 2000s, and it's a shame because it really is fun. There is extra effort, there is extra expense. It is a made in America product, so it's a little bit more expensive, but it is very fun. Why would you not want on-demand sustain? Yes, you can get it from a really loud amp, but how many venues let you turn up to that level anymore? Plus, also, it's not always guaranteed. You have to stand in the right space on a stage to get close to the speaker or far away, just the right spot to get sustain. This just does it. Like as I mentioned, Phil Collin from Def Leppard, he's using a sustainer in his guitar and he's got it pretty much almost always on, at least for solos, because he can instantly have a feedbacked note. So thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to like it. If you know of other guitars other than Schecter's and... what did I say the other one was? I can't remember. It's mainly Schecter that have Sustainiacs. But if you know any others, drop them in the comments because it would be interesting to see. And thank you for watching. Subscribe if you want to. Bye-bye.